Greetings everyone, David J. Coon from Qigong Awareness, also from Wrightsville Beach this morning. Okay, beautiful Wrightsville Beach, Wilmington, North Carolina. Behind the camera are a whole bunch of surfers. We'll try and put that in the video later. I'd love to film and shoot that way, but the sun is beaming on me from this side. So we're gonna film with some beautiful grass in the background. I wanna take you through a set today called the Eight Brocades. This was created by a general back in the 1600s who went around China to find 8 of the best Qigong exercises that he could possibly find for his soldiers to recover from battle, prepare from battle. And really one of the key ingredients there in terms of his searching was to eliminate their fatigue. Soldiers march, they get injured, all of these kinds of things. We don't have to be soldiers to benefit from this. We all get tired, we all have injuries, we all get older, etc., etc. If you don't know my story, I was run over by a trailer on a hayride when I was younger. I was told that I would be crippled by the time I was 30 years old. These Qigong practices have really helped me to not only heal my spine, but also prepare for other types of activities, whether it's other exercises or going to the office or getting up to feed my daughter for breakfast. So let me take you through this routine. I hope you enjoy it. So right from here, we're gonna start off with an exercise that you'll see throughout this 8 brocades. It's not a brocade in and of itself. It's not one of the 8, but you're gonna see it every exercise or every 3 exercises. You'll see kind of this clearing technique being done. Let's begin with that one. Feet are gonna be about shoulder width apart or a little wider. From here, your hands will go up. I'm just gonna do it breathless for a moment. We're not gonna focus on the breath. The hands are gonna come down slow. Notice how I sink my weight a little bit, okay? There's different names for this one. In our school, we call it the waterfall because we image here water coming down through the body and over the body, washing over the body, which is a form of purification. This can be an inhale here through the nose. This is an exhale through the mouth. That exhaling through the mouth, unlike yoga, helps us to get grounded. Whereas yoga, sometimes the emphasis is a little more on relaxation, which is good too. We inhale. That's our warm-up. Our first brocade is going to go like this. We're going to bring the hands in. They start traveling upward. They interlace here, the fingers. We're going to move upward. Hands will go above the head, and we're going to press up. Be careful of your fingers and your hands. This first one is called uplifting or upholding the sky. You'll see slightly different names for these. And the fingers come apart. I exhale through the mouth as I come down. Try, if you can, slow inhale through the nose. And then here, exhale. As you're coming up. Inhaling through the nose. Reach, stretch. You can start your exhale here. Finish your exhale here. So there's slightly different ways to practice all of these, but as I exhale, I want to sink and bend my knees. Here, I start coming up, my legs become taller. Inhale, exhale. And at the top, right here, if you're breathing through your nose, you can try and hold that breath in the belly for a second or two. Because if you breathe slow through the nose, which is a form of Qigong breathing and yogic breathing, you want to breathe down into this lower belly area called the lower dantian in Chinese medicine. We're going to do this one and then one more. And one more. Upholding or uplifting the sky. We can also exhale right here on this last one and just emphasize the stretch. Be careful to your fingers, your hands, your wrists, your shoulders. This one's very good for the shoulders. Also good for building up energy, strengthening and toning the body. It's a very good emotional clearing exercise. Has a lot of good purposes. Exhale. As a medical Qigong exercise, we're going to go back to this waterfall. We'll go mini. As a medical Qigong exercise, it's also said, remember this is inhale, this is exhale. It is also said to balance the heat distribution in the body, temperature regulation, which is very important. I won't go into all the details right now. With your left hand, you might want to mirror me. Okay, I'm going to use my right hand. You might want to use your left, whatever way is easier for you to follow me. But I'm going to travel with this hand to my opposite shoulder. This is the second exercise. It's often called drawing the bow or pulling the bow. My other hand is going to push away as this hand pulls. I'm going to start with the most basic version first, and then we'll get a little more slightly technical. This hand will travel across to the opposite shoulder. My other hand starts pushing away. Just go slow right now. Don't worry about your breathing pattern. This comes across, pull and push. Qigong is like juggling, and sometimes you have to start with juggling 2 balls before you juggle 3 or 4 or more. So now we're going to add a little breathing here. So on this next one, as I come across, when I pull and I push, I'm going to exhale through my mouth. I'm also going to sink my weight a little bit. Now as I move the pushing hand across my body, I'm going to get my inhale. I'm going to inhale through the nose. I'm going to push away. Now we're going to add one more piece to this exercise. Traditionally, this exercise is not just a flat hand. The 3 fingers pull in, the index finger is pointed up, and the thumb is kind of not just sticking out, but it's kind of cocked, like bent here. So this is the position. And when I go forward with the push, I'm expressing forward with my hand. In martial art, for example, that could be a strike. This part of the hand is very strong. So when I do my pushing, it's now going to look like this. If that's too much to do the first time through, please feel free to just practice like this, okay? All right, let's continue on. I'm pushing away. I'm going to use either one of those hand positions that I just showed you. I pull and I push and I exhale. I travel across. This is my inhale. This is my exhale. Either hand position. This is my inhale. And I want to look in that direction as if I'm firing an arrow in that direction. I want to wait till my exhale is completely out. Then I want to pause a second or two. That's an inhale. This is an exhale. If we add a shh, this also becomes a very good liver cleansing exercise. Either way, it is also said to clear the solar plexus area. and the stomach and the spleen. From here, we're going to go into a big waterfall. I'm going to exhale, come up, inhale. Look up if you desire. Exhale, sink your weight a little bit. Getting grounded. Gathering energy, very important principle in Qigong. Getting grounded. Also very important principle in Qigong. Inhale. Exhale. That's that clearing exercise I was talking about. Number 3, separating heaven up here, earth is down here. Separating heaven and earth. The most basic version. Okay? Holding here. Pressing here. Pressing here. Just showing the most basic movement first. Pressing here. Not even worried about breath yet. Okay? That last exercise also very good for the eyes. This is the exercise typically associated with stomach and spleen specifically. The other one, though, hits that solar plexus area where the primary organs are liver and spleen, but the stomach is influenced as well because all of that is in the solar plexus. All right, so this is the basic movement, okay? We're gonna add a little flow and a little breath to it now. So, as this elbow comes down and this hand is traveling up, I'm gonna be exhaling. So if you want to inhale, your inhale would be, I'll be a little more specific. Okay, we'll slow it down. It's tricky, but it's worth getting. So as the hands move, I start inhaling through my nose. Again, if that's too difficult at first, save it for later. Right here, I exhale as I push apart. I inhale as I'm moving the arms through the nose, and at their final position, as they start to get to 3/4 in, exhale. Inhale. Exhale, and be grounded here, be rooted. Later, another time, I'll show you a slightly more complicated version of this one. I think it's important to just get the breath on this one before you get any more complicated. Inhale. Exhale. Every time you exhale, you should feel like you're stretching yourself a little bit and you're getting grounded. You're nice and solid here. Let's do 2 more. Where we separate heaven and earth. Let's do 1 more. And I started on this side, so I'm going to go 1 more. From here, this high hand will travel down. The backs of my hands, I'm going to exhale as I go toward the ground. I'm going to do my clearing exercise, the waterfall here. Inhale, exhale. I'm going to do a few more of these here. Here's number 2. Number 3. We're going to do 5. Number 4. And number 5. All right, I'm gonna do 1 more, just so I can remember what number we're doing next. All right, from here, my feet will come in a bit closer on this one. From here, I'm going to place my hands here. This is a Qigong exercise in and of itself, but within the 8 brocades, the 4th exercise starts here. This one is called Wise Owl turns its head to eliminate fatigue. So what we're going to be doing in this one is we're going to have our hands open and closing, opening and closing. But we're going to be doing a turning of the head. So let's look at that first before we get into the breathing. As I turn my head, I'm going to my right or my left. You can go either way, whichever is convenient for you right now and comfortable for you. I'm going to turn my head as I open my wings and I come back. I'm going to open my hands, and as I do, I'm going to turn my head. I'm going to come back. As I open my wings, I'm going to turn my head, looking over my shoulder. Be careful with your neck if you have a stiff neck. So right from here now, let's go into the breathing. I'm going to inhale while holding my hands here in the vicinity of what is called lower dantian in Chinese medicine, and in Japanese martial arts, we call this area the hara. And in fitness, we talk about how important this area is, called the core. And we also know in medicine that there is, in like Western medicine, for example, that the majority of the lymphatic system is here. So this is a very, very important area. This is also the lower gut. It's involved with your digestion, all kinds of things. So this is a very important area to bring energy and attention to. And this area is also referred to as an elixir field, an energy field. Let's leave it at that for now. Hands here, knees bent. And at any time you need to march a little bit, okay, to shake out your legs and, you know, break up some of that blood chi stagnation. This is a really good idea. And seeing as we're teaching a form that was taught to soldiers, this is why soldiers march. This particular marching practice in and of itself eliminates fatigue. So we're just going to put that in for a moment while I'm teaching you this. So going back to number 4 here, the hands are here. You're holding this area of lower dantian. I'm going to inhale through my nose. I'm going to turn. As I turn, I open my wings. I exhale through the mouth. I inhale. I exhale. And look. And I come back, inhale. At first, if this is too hard, leave out the breathing. Inhale. Or slow it down. Exhale. Wait till your breath is totally out. Come back, inhale. Exhale. Looking over the shoulder, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. From this position, backs of hands. Exhale. Down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Through the mouth. Get grounded. Come up. One more. Very important to gather energy through these exercises, but also to get grounded and stay grounded. And that's why I also recommend in betwixt and in between doing a little marching. It will help you stay grounded. When you first start practicing Qigong, it can make you a little lightheaded. It can move some of the stagnation in your blood and so on, which you want, but then it starts moving toxicities and so on, and you may feel a little off. So if you ever do, just sit down, pause the video, come back and practice in a little while. Let's go to number 5. Number 5 is called sway the head. This is me swaying my head, okay, swaying my head. And it's called shaking your tail, okay? So from here, I'm gonna have my hands, I'm gonna place them on my legs, whatever's comfortable for you. Like if you need to be in a chair, you're seated on the chair and your hands are on your knees. If you can stand, you're here, your hands are on your knees. If you're a little bit stronger and you want to go a little bit of a wider horse stance, no problem. Place your hands on your knees like this. From this position, a little bit every once in a while, try and sit your butt down, come back up. Sit your butt down, come back up. But be careful depending on how strong and flexible you are and so on. But this is something you want to play with in this particular practice. Also, I want to practice shifting my weight very slowly. I shift my weight one side, I shift my weight the other side. This is a warm-up for this exercise. I'm shifting my weight one side, I'm shifting my weight the other side. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm lifting up my foot a little bit on that side. I lift up my foot, I shift my weight here, I lift my foot. You see this in Tai Chi quite a bit. A full rotation like this. Here, horse stance. From this position, let's look at the movement. Actually, let's look at the breath first on this one. So I'm gonna inhale through my nose. I'm gonna go toward a knee. I'm gonna exhale through the mouth. As I move across, let's come back to that movement. I like thinking about this particular movement as being like a dragon, because this has to do with eliminating what is called heart fire or calming the Shen, okay? The Shen being like heart, mind, this heart space, whether you're stressed, not stressed. So a lot of times heat can build up here, stress can build up here. It's related to the liver, agitation, anger, etc. Comes up in here as stress, so on. So from here we want to eliminate it. This breath is a if you can hear that, like an HA sound. And so from this position, I'm here with my hands on my knees. I'm gonna go to whichever side you desire. I'm gonna go to my one side here. As I go, I'm going to exhale. And imagine setting the floor on fire. Now I'm gonna come up from this opposite side. I'm gonna inhale, there's a slight inhale here. I go back, I exhale. I'm gonna come all the way up. I'm gonna inhale. I'm gonna exhale. From here, I'm gonna inhale up. I'm gonna exhale down and across. I'm gonna inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale. You can also use those hands to press and stretch a little bit. I'm gonna inhale here. I'm gonna inhale as like if I'm here, I'm gonna come back, inhale, shifting my weight a little bit back into the center, and now I go this way, down. And obviously don't hurt yourself at home if it looks more like this. Or if you're seated in a chair, that's perfect, okay? The breath is so important. The movement is actually secondary. So from this position one more time, I'm gonna inhale right where I am. And I'm gonna go. Inhale. Inhale. From that position, if you were in this position, You could push up with your hands to help you up, or if your legs are stronger, you can kind of squat up. From this position, we have our waterfall. Inhale, exhale. Inhale. One more. I also highly recommend incorporating here some marching in betwixt and in between as a filler exercise. A lot of times in these standing Qigong postures, they're very hard on your legs. There's not a lot of movement in the legs. And as a fitness instructor for many years, I've been a fitness instructor since I was 21 years old. I'm 54, so it's been a while. Martial arts black belt and so on and so forth. Too much standing without movement is not good. It causes varicose veins. It causes all kinds of other problems. So even though these practices are very good in many ways, there are some pieces that I think can make them better. So we're adding this one. And again, it's a perfect exercise to add to this form because it was created by a general and his soldiers went out and did what every day? They marched. Okay? All right. So let's go to number 6. Number 6 is called holding the feet to bring healing or strengthening to the kidneys and the waist. You'll see slightly different names, but the first part of the exercise, you need to have some flexibility or you need to just adapt the exercise to you. So let's work on a little bit of both. So in the traditional exercise, you're actually going all the way down and you are holding the backs of your heels and you're doing this stretch. But many of you at home may not be able to do this yet. So adapt this, improvise a little bit and change this slightly. So instead of holding the back of the heels, when we come down to that position, hold the backs of your knees. So from the back side first, my hands come around and I go down. And if this is as far as I can comfortably reach, then I'm going to go from the backs of my knees to the insides of my knees. And again, in this case, for those of you who can, go all the way down to the heels and the feet. Either way, I go around the outside. I come around the inside with my fingers and my hands. I come up through the inner thighs here where there's some meridians here, including the kidney meridians. I'm going to travel up the body like so. And I'm going to come back down. I'm going to exhale. So we're going to start like this. There's some different variations in terms of the start. But we're going to draw energy from lower dantian, which is in general in this vicinity. It's just below, said to be, the very bottom of it is said to be below the navel center here, about 3 finger breath width here below the navel. And we're going to kind of draw from this area. We're going to bring this back around to the low back. We're going to go down the backs of the legs where we find the bladder meridian. Then either the backs of the knees or the backs of the feet. We're going to go around the outside of the foot if we can, inside of the foot if we can. Otherwise, you're on the outside of the leg, inside of the leg. Okay, this here is an inhale. This here is an exhale. Going to get into it now. This is an inhale, exhale. Inhale as you're coming up. Exhale as you're coming down. You can see how that looks similar to the waterfall there. Inhale, exhale. We're just getting into it differently. Inhale coming up. Very good for the kidneys. Very good to eliminate bladder infections. Preventative medicine for bladder infections. Inhale. Very good to build up what is called your Jing, which means essence, which you can think of as very vital energy. Inhale. Inhale. Exhale. This is one of my favorite 8 Brocades exercises. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale coming up, exhale coming down. Inhale, let's do 2 more. Exhale. You do not have to do a certain number of these. You don't have to do 10 or 5 or 8. 10 is good as a full set, 10 reps. But 5 is also good. 3 is also good when you don't have enough time to do the rest, or you're tired, or whatever the case may be. Now let's turn that into a waterfall. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Let's march briefly. 2. Pound it out. From this position, we have an open hand, and we're going to take the 4 fingers, we're going to bring them down. The thumb is going to go over the first 2 fingers. Don't put it inside the hand. Don't leave it sticking out. Cover those first 2 fingers, and that's a strong fist. Also have no bend in your wrist, so like don't be doing like pseudo punches, because we're not really going to be punching, but it'll look like a punch. Make sure your wrist is straight, okay? From that position, hold that hand out in front of you. Do the same thing with the other hand. Bring the 4 fingers in, close with your thumb. Put both those hands out in front of you, light, gentle, okay? Now bend your knees, some degree of a horse stance. Again, at home it might just be like this. Don't try and do this if your legs are not strong enough yet, okay? Or maybe they'll never be strong enough, whatever the case may be. Work from whatever's comfortable. This is gonna be harder. Okay, so I just show, and it would be harder still if I went here, and the lower that I get, the harder it is. So we're gonna go right about there. From this position, close, close. Okay, from here, now open, close. You gotta get used to that opening and closing. So hands are up, close, close. Open, close. Open, close. This one is called clench the fists and glare fiercely. So at the end of this exercise, we're going to be glaring fiercely. You probably can't see me with my sunglasses on, but from here, as I roll the hands, I'm going to inhale through my nose. I'm going to bring my arms back here, and I'm going to try and hold my breath in my lower belly for a second. As I exhale, I'm going to go with an SH sound, and I'm going to go shh. I can also do this one, inhale, with a whichever you prefer for now. One's a little better for the heart, one's a little better for the liver, but whichever one you prefer, see what feels best. Inhale. 1, inhale. 2. This is inhale, then 2. Inhale. I can continue. This gets, I don't want to be too complicated or too tricky. But typically when you're moving away from the body, you're exhaling. So if we did the exercise just like this, the way I'm showing it to you, this movement here would all be inhale. This movement here would all be exhale. This would be inhale. This would all be so probably the simplest way to show you, let's add the sh and the ha together, okay? Let's break it down. You'll appreciate this later. Pay attention, close attention. You'll like it, but you have to dial it in. This goes like this. Inhale. Here is shh. Then just let your breath out. Inhale. Here we go. Shh. We could just finish there. But we could also go Then here, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, inhale. Excellent job. Also too, just so you can see this, a little squinting into the sun. The idea is to clear. Part of the exercise for this last one is to glare fiercely. It's to clear liver qi stagnation, get rid of some of that anger, agitation, frustration, energy. So it's like when I go here, don't be too tight in your shoulders and your arms, your neck and everything. You won't appreciate it tomorrow. Unless you want to, then you can. It becomes more like martial qigong or hard qigong. But anyway, from here, inhale. But I maybe put on a tiny bit of a mean face, but don't like shrug your shoulders and tense up. Just, it's meant to be like a little martial. So this would be another simple way to practice part of it anyway, is just hold the fist here and you as you sink. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Here's our waterfall. Exhale, inhale, and here comes our last one. Pretty easy one too. From this position, we're like this. The heels are going to come up off of the ground, okay? And just like we've been doing the marching, this is similar, but we're pounding just the back of the heel. So from here we come up and we pound down. We come up and we pound down. So from there, the first position is to try and get used to bringing your heels up, not falling over. Maybe keep your hands like this. Come up, go down. Come up, go down. Traditionally, this is done 7 times, okay? Up, down. Don't ask me why, because I don't know, too. I've never heard the reasoning behind it. I don't know if anybody knows, okay? If anybody happens to see anything out there, any theories, let me know, okay? All right, so the heels are going up and down. Now though, this part gets slightly tricky, but if you understand the heels going up and down, it's easier. So the hands are gonna come up like this. This is like a balancing mechanism here. It also gets rid of stagnant energy, fatigue, etc. So in like martial arts, sometimes we will stomp that foot, for example, to bring a strike up underneath the chin or something, okay? That's very powerful, all right? So there's a lot of power generated in it, okay? So I can't think of a sport right now that would use that exact type of motion other than martial art, but it's a very powerful movement within the body. We're not doing it in a striking sense, but we are going up, heels, and then the hands go right there. 1, 2, and I'm touching my thumb. 3, up with the heels, back with the hands. 4, up with the heels, back with the hands. 5, up with the heels, back with the hands. 6, 7. Okay, I'll do a few more just so we understand. 1, 2, up, down, up. Actually, hold on. Up, down. There we go. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Very good. Go into, I'll go one more this way for you. Up, down, up, down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Excellent job. It's always very important at the end of your Qigong practice to get grounded. It's always very important at the end of your Qigong practice, if not during your Qigong practice, to stop, pause, and drink water. Because Qigong is like an internal massage, it will cause tissues to give up their poisons, release their poisons. Those poisons will go into the bloodstream, and then the blood is going to look to get rid of them. If you drink plenty of water, the kidneys, the liver, etc. will help you purify, cleanse that blood, get rid of the urine along with the bladder, etc. And then guess what? Within a day, 2 days, 3 days, drink enough water, you're starting to feel better and better and better. So that is one important point I also wanted to state in this video, in case it wasn't clear from what I just said. Drink plenty of clean and clear water, the cleanest, clearest water you can find. If you haven't seen Dr. Emoto's studies on water, check it out. Bless your water, write the word love on your water bottle, and drink plenty of clean water. Thanks, guys. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. I'll do my best to get back to you. And have a great day. Thanks for practicing the 8 Brocades with me, and I look forward to seeing you in some future capacity. Thank you.